So, how crazy is what's happening in the IWF at the moment?
Yeah, it's just like actually unbelievable. Like it's like, oh yeah, things aren't that bad in the world. Then it's like, oh, they get pretty funky sometimes.
Yeah. So I just saw the thing today and I was like, all right, Ursula Papandreou, who is I think she's the president of USA Weightlifting as well.
I think so. Yes. USA Weightlifting president and then just like interim
president of the IWF, and she was meant to have a meeting today, but yesterday they had like a secret meeting, the IWF board, and they like kicked her out. And like for those at home listening, what's crazy is that like her and even Phil Andrews got kicked out as well. They've been like leading the charge to like clean up the sport after what has come out is like widespread, systematic,
insane, crazy corruption for like several decades. Like Phil Andrews and Ursula, like, hey, we should like probably not be so corrupt anymore. Let's lead the charge in that, and then it's just like under the table meeting just before to get rid of them. To like, it's got nothing to do with your attempt to clean up the sport. You're just out for some other reason.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and I didn't even know what to think about it. Like, I just saw the mess, and then what's cool is like USA Weightlifting has just put out like an Instagram post.
I read that. I was
and they're like, on behalf of our 24,000 members, we are disgusted with what the IWF has done, and we don't condone it.
Yeah, and that's awesome. But then you're just like 24,000. I'm like, oh, that's okay. Then I'm like, oh, but it's clear why the corruption stands, because weightlifting is a national sport in the countries in which the corruption is most rampant.
Yeah.
So 24,000, they have 24,000 athletes, not members, that are at a high level in some of these countries. And it's just like how do you... It's been that way for so long. How do you stand against the tide?
Well, apparently not the way they thought they were doing it.
Yeah, it's like, be reasonable. Get out of here.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like it seems like it's it's like very obvious that the countries that are like doping and stuff are the ones that are actually in charge, because like they instated.
Oh, it's so transparent.
The Thai president, which is Thailand is banned. They've got.
Yeah, it seems like a reasonable thing. It's like, let's try and clean up the sport. This country got banned for doping, like their kids. Let's chuck them. Like the president, he seems like a pretty top-notch dude when it comes to that. Chuck him in. Put him in, coach.
I just don't have any idea.
Like
what
it's just about. Like. But it's just like, how short-term, because it's going to be like, what are we going to call it in 2 years from now when it's not in the Olympics?
Just weightlifting.
It's just weightlifting, but that's just like, if you type in weightlifting, just lifting weights comes up. It's just bodybuilding.
Yeah, that's essentially what the sport will be.
World Championship weightlifting.
Yeah.
Like
it's definitely going to get removed from the Olympics.
Like, it literally was like on the brink last Olympics to like clean up the sport, change. There's so many chances it's gone through. Even think it's like 2016 was Rio. Russia got banned from Rio. Massive, 40% of the drug tests came back positive. Then we uncovered from the McLaren report that also a bunch of them got swept under the rug from in between that time. So even more, there have probably been even more failed tests. There's Thomas Ayan clearly accepted bribes. There's evidence of him accepting bribes for medals. So they changed all the weight classes. That got corrupted, so they had a decent one in, and then Qatar comes in at the last moment and they do this weird voting thing to change the weights to suit their actual lifters at the time. Then after that, it's if there's any more doping, no, they had the World Championship where some countries didn't compete. Then Thailand, gets absolutely destroyed by doping. And Egypt. It's child doping. Dope. It was this is your last straw, and then look, I hear it's our last straw, But I tell you what I'd rather do, just do the same thing over and over again indefinitely.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, they're just like, this is your last chance. They're like, cool, this is our only sport and we take massive pride in this. I'm going to do a shit on my own chest. Like, that's what it's like.
Yeah, I'm going to go down with a burning ship.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, but I like this ship. I don't care that it's burning.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what their foresight is. It doesn't look like there's any of it.
They're just like, they have enough foresight to give drugs to kids. Surely they have enough foresight to see that this sport's not going to be the case in 4 years. Like, they're giving drugs to kids for the expectation that this sport is going to be around in like 12 years, but their actions for doping kids ensures that this sport's not going to be around in 12 years. Like, how like contradictory can your thoughts be to like not fucking see that?
I don't get it. I really don't.
I guess it's just like their confidence in corruption is so great that they're just like, it's going to work out because it's all corrupt. And you know what? It's been the case for like multiple decades. And like, I guess they're just like, if you have enough corruption, like confidence in corruption, like you go. Like, that's just how it is. It's just self-belief in like the system that they've created. That must be it.
Weird. But yeah, I just thought you guys would be interested in us talking about
Yelling about giving drugs to children.
yeah, what's going on in the international weightlifting world at the moment.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the news at the moment? Everyone went for like a log clean and press record recently.
Yeah.
A British record was broken by a Stoltman brother. Rob Kearney tried to break the American record and tore his tricep tendon.
That's pretty cool.
Well, not for him.
No, he was giving drugs to children, but we said that was cool. Well, I said that was cool.
Yeah. I mean, let's reiterate that Rob Kearney is not giving drugs to children. Maybe drugs to himself?
I'm pretty sure
Hey,
it'll be
Nicole.
fine.
But yeah, like, stuff's happening.
Stuff's happening. There's going to be less weightlifting news when the sport is no longer an Olympic sport. And, well, think about it this way. Once it's no longer an Olympic sport, there's not going to be any more corruption because there's not going to be any more money in it. So then they're thinking real long term. So like once the sport is disappears from the Olympics, then it will clean up. Then it will get reinstated back into the Olympics. They're playing the super long game.
Or this has all been done under the table by, like, this is some sort of like weird like heist scenario that Robert Wilkes is running, because what he's trying to do is get powerlifting into the Olympics. So once weightlifting is out, the cleaner sport, powerlifting,
the cleaner sport. It's like, yeah, strongman and powerlifting are going to swoop in and take Olympic weightlifting spot.
That's what they want to do.
You know what? Strongman and powerlifting are renowned for being clean athletes and just having like really reliable drug testing. I'm sure it will work out fine.
Or maybe this is CrossFit's chance to finally be in the Olympics. They have a new CEO.
They've got a new
IWF
CEO.
has a new president.
Yeah. It's like they got a new CEO. IWF got a new president. It's more or less the same. Like I see the similarities between the Thai president getting reinstated as the IWF president and CrossFit being like, oh yeah, we've got a new president. Yeah, we're not going to release any drug testing. It's all going to be done in-house. We're definitely clean.
Also, we are not racist. Because we haven't done a show about that stuff, but CrossFit was so racist for a while there.
Yeah, it was. But
And sexist.
It's like, that's just like how it is. Like they're just like being racist and sexist. And it's like, it's like when it happened though, it was like, all these people acting extremely within character. What a surprise! It's just like they're just acting completely within character. It's like, this guy who's like renowned for being a piece of shit continues to be a piece of shit. What news?
Rich white male like acts within his privilege to like.
just like acts completely the same as he has for years, and they're just like, I can't believe this guy. And I'm like, he's been saying this sort of like along the lines of this stuff for like he's just well renowned for being that
Yeah,
sort
for
of
like
person.
10 years.
Yeah, for 10 years, and it was just like, I'm shocked, more shocked than anyone that he said that. No.
I couldn't believe it though.
What's worse, CrossFit or weightlifting?
Yeah, leave your comments below. Thank you guys for listening or watching this episode wherever you're watching it. You can follow Ash at Next Step Strength. You can follow me at Train with Andy, and of course you can follow Raw Barbell Club at Raw Barbell Club on all of our social media. So that's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok.
You're not on TikTok. We get it. You were there first, but you just never did anything from there.
There's like one post that you can follow
From like 2017.
and it's not even good.
Oh, we know, Andy. We know it wasn't good.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.